Okay, go for it.
Good evening, guys, and thanks very much for joining us online here this evening for our little Facebook webinar for INTO members and how to make your voice heard. This is hosted on the Voice for Teachers Facebook page, and we will have a few different people talking from different backgrounds. I myself am an ASD teacher in a mainstream class school, and we will also have a representative from Glore speaking, Katie, and we will have two representatives from the SET Facebook group reps, that is Lorraine and Natalie. So basically what we were going to be going through this evening is each of the panelists will speak, giving various points about their own background and also pushing on then to advise us how we can get more active and involved in contacting various people within the union and how that'll work. We'll also show you how to do this. So we will tell people how they can contact our INTO CEC reps, and we will show you the CEC search app and how to find out who your local CEC representative is. And then we'll push on to show you how you can find out when your January INTO AGM will be taking place and how you can attend and get involved in that also. And we'll follow it up with a few final notes then before we close. So I think then first up to speak will be Natalie from the SET Ireland Supporting Each Other Facebook group. So Natalie, I will hand over to you there now.
Thanks a million, Gary. So my name is Natalie Doyle-Bradley. I'm a special education teacher in post-primary. So briefly, myself and Lorraine are going to set the scene for the reason why this webinar is actually needed. So the group that I admin on Facebook along with Lorraine and another lady, Neve, it's called Special Education Teachers Ireland Supporting Each Other. It was set up in August 2017 as a peer support forum responding to a need for accurate, timely information regarding to rapid change in SEND provision. It's a private group. Membership is restricted to those professionals working within the Irish education system with students identified as having an additional learning need. At the moment, we have over 11.5 thousand members, and they're all professionals seeking support on how to best support their pupils with additional needs on social media. We know from our experience over the last 3 years that many SET are afraid to speak out as they feel very vulnerable. And today we've decided to contribute to let the SET voice be heard. So on Sunday or yesterday, somebody put up a poll checking to see how our members felt about going back to school on Thursday, and 720 respondents did actually give their opinion. 92% said that they're not happy to return to schools on Thursday. 6% said they were happy to return on Thursday, and 2% clarified that while not necessarily happy, they'd be willing to return. And that is kind of important. We want to serve our students the best way we can, but at the moment it just doesn't seem like a great option to be on site in school. So over the last couple of weeks, there were several posts made by members with rumours that SET and certain cohorts of students would return to school. And all of those posts just expressed alarm, panic and worry. That's what our members are feeling at the moment. We tried to put some sort of structure on this to find out what it was that they wanted or what the worries were. So we put up a post getting a poll to try and find out what it was that exactly that the worries were. And we identified the issues. So the overwhelming worry was that our own health and safety, that's what people were worried. We had 624 people voting for that. We were worried about supporting students in school and at home at the same time. Worried about students mixing on transport in school or on the way to school. We're worried about our students' ability to engage with online learning, childcare for our own children, safety of our medically vulnerable students, and the difference between the SEND students coming back when the rest of them weren't coming back, exposing our family members and housemates. The list went on. These were the numbers. I'm going to hand over to Lorraine, and she'll tell you a little bit more about the stories that we've heard that have come to us through our Facebook page. So Lorraine, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lorraine Dempsey. I'm a primary principal in a primary school with special classes. I suppose as a group, as Natalie has outlined, we're here to promote the voices of teachers and also many of our students. And we want to look after their safety and ensure that when they return to education, that it is a safe environment for both the pupils, the families, the communities around us, and the teachers. You will see some of the concerns that are listed on the slide, and I suppose I'm going to take you through a few more that we have heard. There's been much emphasis placed on the need to return to routine and regularity, and it has been promoted as one of the priorities for a return to special schools and special classes. The vast majority of our classes are for children with autism and other co-occurring needs. It's correct that these children require routine and regularity, and that this reduces their anxieties and increases of feelings and anxiety and safety. But it's also true that these children do not cope well with change. Many of our students, thankfully, love school, the routine, the security, and the engagement it provides. However, we fear as special ed teachers, principals around the country, SNAs, that next Thursday, should they return to school, they will not return to a regular, safe routine in a familiar environment. As our members have highlighted, the school building will be empty except for the special class mates and perhaps a small number of others. The vast majority of children in special classes integrate as part of their daily timetables. There will be no classroom for these children to integrate into. Their peers, friends, and mainstream from kids from mainstream whom they spend break times with will not be there. Their teacher and familiar SNAs may not be there due to many circumstances cited by school staff, whether it be childcare, anxiety, worries. They may be in a high risk category. We may have many pregnant teachers who are being required to return, and varying other family backgrounds. Teachers with their own children who have special educational needs and attend special schools may not have the facility of childcare. And if they're there Thursday, they may be missing Monday. These staff members, because of symptoms, they may be close contacts, they may have a sniffle or a cold over the weekend. They can't return to our classrooms. When they are there, I think the start thing is they will they be recognisable to their children, given the calls for the increased PPE. With all the best will in the world as human beings, we may not be able to prevent the anxiety in ourselves and prevent this from transferring to children. We can be professional, mindful, and present and take all the deep regulatory breaths possible through our masks. But if you're anxious about a child approaching you too closely, your automatic nervous system will take over, and will that of the student, and heightened anxiety will reign. I think many of our teachers, as Natalie will concur, would love to be back in the school with their lovely children to achieve the best that their child can be. But in a rushed and unsafe manner, this is just not possible. Um, Teachers are anxious, families are anxious. We have to look at how many children want to return to our schools. Ireland has the highest rate of community transmission in the world, as was highlighted by our members, and the department has taken NEFID advice from the 5th of January. Surely we need more up-to-date health advice, especially considering these new variants were not identified at the time. We all need to go back when it's safe for all, not for some. School will not be safe places on Thursday. Even if children are less likely to get sick, it doesn't protect the staff catching from asymptomatic children. They will not be safe, and I think this needs to be clear, because the community in which the school is placed is still not safe. Numbers are far too high, members cite, and 44% of all COVID cases in Ireland have occurred in the last fortnight. Now is not the time. We need to pause proposal and see how things are. Parents of pupils returning need to be informed what school will actually be like. With the numbers sky high and mortality rates rising, we are left with no option but to don the full PPE gear, which will hinder communication with our most vulnerable young children, turning schools into clinical settings rather than special classes. from a principal point of view, and these are, I suppose, viewpoints that have come in from principals that are part of our group. They're being placed under pressure from the Department of Education, staff, parents and guardians, and their own family needs. All parties want and expect them to see their viewpoint and act accordingly, yet they haven't been asked by anyone what is their opinion. Whether it be health or educational welfare of the students, as one principal put it, she has a duty of care to provide for. She was asked would she be comfortable returning to work and opening her school, and her answer was 100% categorically not, on the grounds of health and safety for life and death. It's not that she is not willing, she just feels that it is just not safe. The announcements that are being given out makes it incredibly difficult for us to communicate with our school community. We're getting sound bites from media, teachers feel, and they're hearing it maybe on the RTE news or TV3 news before it even comes. I'm wondering, I suppose, and our group are wondering, if an exercise is being completed whereby the risks, the benefits, and the outcomes and the long-term impacts on all groups connected to supporting children with special education needs, if special schools and special class opens, has been carried out. The long-term impact on the well-being of the staff that provide the outstanding educational support for our students. They're being placed between a rock and a hard place. The responsibility to their own children who may be learning remotely or just need parental support surely outweighs the needs for just special schools and special classes to reopen. The needs of all Irish children need to be considered when making a decision that has a domino effect on all families, special needs families and the teachers and families of teachers and SNAs. The risk being back to bring some back is far greater than all of us sticking together. And the common word for our group is we need to work for the greater good of the country. We need to ensure that we keep all our pupils and our staff safe, and we need to ensure that our concerns and worries are heard, just like the concerns and worries of all our special needs children. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that, Natalie and Lorraine from the SET Facebook group. Appreciate that. And now I'll hand over to Katie, who will be representing the GLORE group. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Natalie and Lorraine. So my name is Katie and I'm a SET teacher in a DESH2 school in Dublin. I'm an INTO member and part of my local branch committee, and I'm the media coordinator for my district. Today I'm here representing GLORE at this webinar, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do as GLORE. So GLORE was set up by ordinary INTO members who felt that many teachers were confused as to how the INTO structures function and how they can have their voice heard from within the union. Many have told us that they feel they didn't understand enough about how branch meetings functioned to get involved. So really, our group exists to empower teachers to become actively involved in the union and to be part of discussions that affect their working conditions. We have seen many people re-engaging with the INTO throughout the last year, and also lots of queries coming through on social media from people who aren't sure who they should talk to about their concerns. Tomorrow, our CEC are meeting at 2 p.m. to discuss the plans for reopening and come to a decision on how the INTO will proceed. The Central Executive Committee, the CEC, consists of a president, a vice president, the ex-president, and one district representative from each of the 16 districts in our union. There's also 3 full-time officials, the General Secretary, the General Treasurer, and the Northern Secretary. The duty of the CEC is to carry out the orders of Congress, which happens every Easter, to report on the progress made on the implementation of motions that were passed, and to manage the affairs of the organisation in between Congress. So that's what they are doing tomorrow. They are meeting at 2 p.m. to discuss the government's current plans for a phased reopening. It's important to remember that they represent your views, and so they need to hear from you before this meeting so that they can represent your views. We've made a video to show you, and we're going to play this for you now in a moment. And it's going to tell you how you can find out who your CEC rep is and how you can contact them. After the video, we're going to pause this webinar, and we're calling on everyone who's watching tonight to contact their CEC rep and tell them how you feel about the current plans, because if you don't contact them, your voice won't be heard. So I'm going to hand back to Gary now, and we're going to show you how to find who your CEC rep is.
Thanks. I'm just going to play a short video now just to show you how you can go about contacting your CEC rep.
Finding your INTO district rep is easy with CEC Search. You can navigate to teacherbuilt.me in your browser or search teacherbuilt.me with no spaces on Google. Find the search result that says teacherbuilt.me and click it. Once there, simply click the CEC search link at the top of the page. You can search for your district rep using your school name, roll number, or the area that your school is in. Once you see your school, simply click or tap the bar to find your district details. On the next page, you can see your school details, your district rep, along with any email addresses you might need. You can even click the email address there in the browser to open your favorite email app and get sending those emails.
So guys, yeah, that short video there would have shown you how you can find who your CEC rep is online. If you just click on the links that were included in the video, and we will also have them in the slides on this presentation for you as well. So as you can see here, guys, there's certain links on the screen. And the first link is the link to the video that you had just seen there, where you can find who your local CEC rep is and their contact details for emailing them and other members of the INTO worth contacting. The second link is the email for the NEFIT webinar being provided by the Department of Education on Monday. And if you have any questions you would like to be posed at the time, that is the email address that you should send them to. Make sure to do that as soon as possible if you would like any questions to be answered. And of course, the last link, as you can see on the screen there, is whoismytd.com. It basically helps you to get the contact details for all your local TDs who you can also contact as well with any concerns. So next up, I'll just go through quickly how you can find your payroll. This can be found on your pay slips. It's important that you have this number or your INTO member number when you are sending any emails to your CEC reps or anyone involved in the INTO role, so that they can deal with you and know that you are an INTO member. So if you look at the picture on screen there, it shows you where your payroll number can be found on your payslip in case you don't know your INTO member number when contacting your CEC rep or anyone else involved in the INTO. So yeah, we just saw that, how to find your CEC rep again, and that was just again another link to find out who your TD is. So we'll move on now to show you how you can attend your January AGM with the INTO at your local branch level. So if you go to the INTO website itself, you will see a tab at the top called events. If you click on events, this will bring you on to another page, and it will show you a list of all the upcoming branch AGMs and the dates and times that they are happening. So obviously you can go through that and find yours, and once clicked on it, you know, you can it'll give you the details, and you can go about finding the information you need to attend your branch AGM, which obviously will be held online in the current climate. So next, just a quick message on emails and what to include. I already mentioned and showed you how to go about finding your payroll number. It's really important when you do email them that you include your INTO membership number or your payroll number from the Department of Education, so that they know you are an INTO member and they can actually deal with your queries. You can also include your branch name or your school name, or if you're a sub, you can also include that too, just say that you're subbing. It's really important that they get individual letters from people, and it's not just kind of a templated email copy and paste. I'm sure you're all well aware yourselves that you can tell when you're getting emails from various companies or people and they're copy and paste, they just don't quite have the same effect. It's a lot better if they get emails from you that give a bit of your own background and let them know how your actual feelings are on the various matters that you're in contacting them about. No need to give too much information, but basically just get your points across in a concise and to the point manner. There's no formalities. There's nothing that you have to include when you're contacting a member of the CEC or anything like that. Literally just you can contact them with whatever information or feelings you feel you need to get across. And again, if you are using the CEC rep search that we showed you the video of and how to do, it will also include a list at the bottom of other important people as well as your CEC rep who you can contact, such as the General Secretary, John Boyle, or Mary Magner, the President, and various other people. Okay, so now what we're going to do is going to give a quick call to action for people to maybe send an email themselves. So if you have a device nearby, now might be as good a time as any while it's fresh in your minds to get those emails and email apps ready and to type up a quick little note or use the CEC rep search as we showed you to type up a quick email to your CEC rep. So we'll give you 2 minutes and we'll come back then. Okay, guys, so thanks very much for everyone who took a minute or two there to get their emails open and type up a quick email to send to their CEC reps, or even just drafted up one quickly that they might finish off later on. So just to finish, a lot might depend or change on the outcome of tomorrow's CEC meeting. So we'll wait and see what comes from that. Depending on how people feel and what concerns are left after that meeting tomorrow, we could potentially do another webinar if there's many concerns that remain after the meeting. It's really important that, and I think people have been very active on social media and the last while in terms of sharing information about everything going on. But if there's anyone you know that mightn't have gotten a chance to watch this webinar, maybe just to inform them and to let them know, or even tag 3 friends to encourage them to make contact with their CEC reps and local TDs too. An important quote we kind of picked out was that an injury to one is an injury to all. So even like mainstream teachers who aren't necessarily going back, proposed to be going back this week, it's really important that everybody kind of sticks together on this, and that it doesn't cause any divisions or any divisiveness. We're all doing this for the same reasons, and we're all have the same concerns, and we're all just kind of thinking of the safety of ourselves and our pupils and all the families involved. It really is important that we show solidarity with our colleagues, even if we're not personally affected. I think for the safety of our staff and the families and community served, we really do need to all support each other. And yeah, I think that's a good note to finish on. So guys, thanks very much for tuning in, and thanks to Katie, Natalie and Lorraine for speaking as well, and for everybody who's been involved this evening. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Gary. Bye.